There's a Ghanaian proverb that goes, if the only tool in your toolbox is a hammer, you better wish that all your problems are a nail.
I see diversity as differences.
We're brought up differently, we have different experiences, different cultures.
People of different backgrounds, different religions, coming together to know each other.
And that could be diversity and difference of anything. So I'm different from you because of many different factors.
It can be anything from people to how people interact with each other.
Anything that isn't the average.
Your cultural backdrop, what you believe, what you think.
From our ethnic background, you know, our sexual orientation, our age, you know, our family history, the region we grew up in.
So to me, it's not just the color of your skin or your heritage, but the music that you like, the clothes that you wear, all of those different things brought together.
Generally variation, but with us it's variation on many levels. It's very complex.
Someone would look at me and say, I am a white American. He is not diverse for an American. But in fact, I know in my own self that I am actually a Latino.
When I think of diversity, I think of the story of the elephant. And there was an elephant in a room, and there were some blind men. And they asked the first blind man, what does the elephant, you know, what does the elephant, what is he like? And he came up and he felt along and he found the tail. And he felt the tail and he said, well, an elephant is just like a snake. And then he went back and they called the next blind man. And they said, come and tell us what the elephant's like.
And one man says, oh, it's a column. Another man says, no, it's flat like a roof. Another man says, what are you talking about? It's brushy. And of course they were all right. You know, one had the ear, one had the tail, one had the stomach, one had the leg.
And I think that's illustrative of diversity in that they all had their own experience.
And each one was giving a true picture for him of what the elephant was. But it's only when you put together all the different perspectives that you begin to get a real picture of what the elephant is all about. And to me, that's what diversity is.
Diversity is like a stew. You add a lot of ingredients and you get some interesting flavors going on. But a stew that just has tomato, it's gonna taste like a pretty bland stew. You throw in some garden eggs, you throw in some corn, if you like, put in some okra, and you actually end up having a pretty interesting stew. I'd like to liken it to a pot, a melting pot.
Compare the melting pot in Ghana to the melting pot in America.
The melting pot in America, you have people from all walks of life, many different countries living together and learning about one another and having this kind of understanding of one another.
In America, you couldn't walk and say, well, you're not American, you're a stranger, because there are so many different people look so different. But here in Ghana, right away when I walk down the street, people know I'm not Ghanaian.
It's about learning, and that's what being an American is about, learning. You're learning from different people, you're learning from different cultures, and you're sharing.
That the melting pot in America is much larger. It's much bigger than Ghana. Our America is huge compared to Ghana.
Do you think there's diversity in Ghana?
Oh, there's huge. There's a lot of diversity in Ghana.
When you learn about the tribal dynamics in Ghana, its history, and you use that to really just look at people, everyone you look at will have such a difference of appearance, you know.
And you can see it when you travel from region to region and you hear the different languages and you see the different traditions and religions that are being practiced here in Ghana.
I mean, think about, I live in the Upper East, and you know, from one village to the next, they speak a different language. They have completely different customs.
One thing about America, our diversity is more, how can I say, overt. Meaning that you can walk down the street and you can tell there's differences. If it's from somebody of Asian background, a Spanish background, African American background.
In the United States, people are from other areas, but they don't quite attach themselves to those areas as much. They mostly try to be diverse in their ways of thinking, their ways of behaving.
Whereas in Ghana, you do have a lot of diversity, but there's still a lack of knowledge on, the other groups and countries and things out there.
Maybe in terms too of different religions or beliefs about homosexuality. I've had different talks about that in my village. Those kind of beliefs, you don't see a lot of diversity in those.
In Ghana, it's talking about just even within a community level. When people look at each other as a sense of belonging, in terms of the tribe they come from, in terms of their clan, in terms of family, the people do not look at themselves as individuals.
In other countries around the world, most people don't think of themselves as part of a village, part of a tribe. They think of themselves as part of a nation.
Americans are much more free to express their diversity. It's encouraged, it's embraced. Americans value individuality, and so individual expression is much more obvious.
So when we talk about diversity, we talk about identifying things that tend to separate people. I'm different from you because of a quality that I have or a quality that you have that we don't share.
So I think some of the negative aspects is because of all the different thoughts and ideas that people can bring to a table that sometimes creates conflict.
If you look at the history of the U.S., you can see both sides. I mean, we had a very unhealthy relationship with diversity when we were first starting as a country.
It's when people start segregating or having prejudices against any different group because of the way they are different.
Those were bad times for us, and I think it came from a place of fear. Some people are afraid of differences, and when they show that fear, bad things happen.
If people are too different, then of course there are going to be clashes, especially if there's not enough education.
It's like if you come to Ghana as population increases and people still begin belonging to this community base, create sometimes ethnic conflicts among themselves, maybe struggling for the resources that are available.
That's the foundation of all conflict. I'm right, you're wrong.
And while there's that constant struggle for the peace of that diversity to kind of work together in harmony, in reality it's just there's a lot of difficulties that happen from it. So.
But the positive is because of all those different ideas that you can grow and learn more not only about yourself but about everyone in your area. So you can grow as a person and a nation with a melting pot aspect.
Sometimes even after the ethnic conflicts, people begin to understand each other and appreciate each other as having one heritage, help to bring the strength in each one of them and help people to really develop better as individuals and as a nation.
If you have a group of people who have different experiences, different backgrounds working on one problem, I think that the answer or solution they come up with will be better than a group that is not as diverse.
Our institutions are stronger because people come into it with different ideas and different visions.
It's awesome to be surrounded by people from different backgrounds. You can learn so much, and it's healthy to understand that not everyone's the same as you.
Despite being different, we are all human beings,
Diversity can bring so many positive effects in terms of our global understanding of other cultures and other people because we are so diverse. But at the same time, when you don't have an open mind about the differences between those cultures, that can cause clashes and violence, and that can breed hate.
I think in many cases it's a great thing. And if you take the example of the elephant, where we all have different experiences we bring to the table, they were able to figure out what the elephant looked like by putting the pieces together. And I think that's the beauty of diversity.
The end.
Well, thank you very much.
You are welcome.